So good morning, brothers and sisters in Christ. Today, I am not here to preach about equality and treating each other fairly. But in reality, the topic that I'm going to talk about touches on that, and treating people fairly and knowing about them, and recognizing that we are all one in Christ. In the Bible, Mark 12, verse 31, it says that you need to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And in Galatians 3, verse 28, it says that there is neither Jew nor Gentile. There is neither man or woman, slave nor free, because we are all one in Christ. And that is how we need to think about our Muslim brothers and sisters. Right now, due to 9/11 and all those other misconceived notions about them, we think of them as just terrorists. We think of them as out to get America, and out to get America and turn America into a Muslim country, into an Islamic country. But in reality, that's not the purpose of the religion. That's not what Muslim culture is all about. So today, I'm here to inform you about the basic misconceptions that Americans and Christians have about Muslims and their Islamic faith. And I have 3 points for you guys. First is I'm going to inform you about the basic history and maybe how these misconceptions came to be and how these misconceptions are here still today. My second point for you is to inform you about the basic misconception about jihad. And hopefully I'll get to clear some of those by presenting what jihad actually is all about. And finally, my third point is going to be about the misconceptions about Muslim women. And is there really abuse going on? Do they really let abusive women go through in the Muslim faith, and the Muslim culture and the Islamic faith? So going to my first point. You guys need to, my friends, you all need to know that there is a basic history between Muslims and Christians way before even Muslim was a big religion. Ibrahim Khalil mentioned in his book that one of the biggest histories between Muslims and Christians was that even before Muslims was just starting out as a small religion, as a small group of people, the Christian faith have already condemned them as heretical. And they have put out efforts to extinguish this faith as much as possible because they see it as a powerful threat against the Christian community. Even just here in America, after 9/11, you guys need to, in a survey conducted by Time magazine back in 2006, 46% of Americans actually see Muslim people as going to be harboring, people who harbor violence, people who initiate violence. And that speaks volumes about how we as Christians see Muslims, and that how we see them as people who are violent, people who are, they're not human, basically, in our eyes. So now that I've talked about violence in the Muslim culture, let me talk about jihad and how we see it as the concept of holy war. In America, we see it as holy war, but in reality, actually, it's not really meant to be holy war. In Reza Aslan told in her book, No God But God, that we see Muslim people as this picture right here nowadays. They're a picture of terrorists. They're people who are out to get God. They're strapped with bombs and guns and ready to take over the world because it's all for Allah. But in reality, the word jihad actually means struggle, and it has 2 connotations. First is the personal and internal struggle of a person to overcome sin and to be a good person, and to overcome sin and be that good person for Allah. The second connotation is actually more physical, and it's the fight, it's the struggle of a person to end tyranny, something that oppresses him, something that has been tyrannical over him, something that possesses his life physically. And that means if it has to be a protest against a bad ruler or probably some bully that he's been struggling with. And that's not meaning that he has to launch war against something. So in reality, jihad doesn't mean war, and it doesn't mean launching war against a country or taking over a country because of Allah. So now that I've talked about the concept of jihad and the concept of war in the Muslim culture, let me talk about women in the Muslim culture and how treatment of women are being upheld in the Muslim culture. A lot of preconceived notions about it is that women are inferior to men in the Muslim culture and in Islamic faith. But in reality, even the Quran itself doesn't promote violence against women. It says that we must treat women fairly, and we must see to it that women are treated equal to men. Also, abuse of women actually is not upheld in the Muslim culture. Actually, it is law that the only time that you can beat a woman up is when that woman is actually evil. And if that woman has done abuse to others, or she has been cruel to others. And I'd say it's really fair. It's fair enough that you treat a woman in a wrong way if she's been treating others the wrong way. And that's the same thing as men. That if men are mistreating others, it's just right that people tend to mistreat them as well. So in my speech here today, I hope I was able to inform you at least a little bit of info about the misconceptions between jihad and the treatment of women in Muslim culture. Also, I hope that I was able to inform you about a small history of why these misconceptions exist. And I hope you all learned something from it. Thank you very much.